I'm Jason Rutz with Freedom Healthworks. I lead our growth and partnership division, and I'm here with Logan Valentine, who is benefits consultant with ONI Risk Partners, to talk about employee benefits. The experience with a lot of small employers has been every year they jump from one large insurer to another as rates go up. So are there any different strategies now that employers are seeing that are outside of that, jumping from one to another?
Yeah, absolutely. That has been the experience for a lot of employers over the years. A lot of them will go from carrier to carrier. If you're in a small group, depending on how the rates have been filed. If you're a large group, it can depend a lot more on if the carrier is willing to buy your business, in which case a lot of the time, the second year, you may get a higher increase to make up for what they bought it for. But what we're seeing now in the marketplace is a lot of consultants are bringing new ideas to them. Consultants are getting more educated. They're working together to educate each other to bring better solutions to their clients, whether that be alternative funding options, different types of care, such as direct primary care, on-site clinics, near-site clinics. Carriers either way will have to adapt to what consultants are bringing to the marketplace. The direct primary care movement is definitely going to force them to change. They're very aware of that. They're definitely not naive to what is happening in the marketplace, but they do want to protect their PPO networks as well.
In your opinion, how does direct primary care fit into the overall strategy for employers?
I think direct primary care can fit in for any employer that chooses to implement it. I think it fits in best into a certain segment of our employer groups where they can't quite put on their own on-site clinics. That may be affordability, that may be the size of the employer. But anyone that is getting especially into some kind of a self-funded model where they can carve out the costs of the physician, know that they're not going to be paying for primary care visits and then employ that money each month for access to a primary care physician of their choosing within your network or whatever direct primary care it is. That's where it fits the best. So it may be from 2 employees all the way up to 200. It just kind of depends on where the affordability is for each employer. Once that happens, I think if they have it built into their plan appropriately with the correct funding model, as well as the correct education to their employees, it then becomes a relationship between the physician and the employee where if they're engaged, we're going to see a lot of benefits out of that in the long run.
Yep. Can you explain what's self-funding, the difference between self-funding and level funding, and why it's more advantageous to go this route with those 2 options versus being fully funded with DPC?
Right. Yeah, so fully insured, you are paying for access to a network essentially. Whatever your premium is per month, you're going to pay that to the carrier, and whether you have 10 times the amount of claims or 1 claim the whole year, that's the cost. Once we get into self-funding and level funding, we get into a responsibility of the employer on part of their claims. Depending on how that's set up, it can obviously be 75% of their costs become claims or 40%. Once that becomes part of the plan, the employer has a lot more control over what they're doing, and then they have the ability to win with the type of things that they're giving to their employees. So fully insured, you're basically adding a cost on top of a cost if you add direct primary care, but when you're self-funded, it can become a part of your claims cost. And then as those long-term relationships develop between your employees and your physicians, you're going to see the win on the back end. And once we look at fixed costs versus claims costs and we examine that year over year, a lot of those employers can see a lot of benefits from very minimal changes rather than just blowing up their whole plan and rebuilding it. And so just taking a step-by-step, year-over-year changes, I think that's where a lot of people can find comfortability as well as a lot of success on the back end.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Well, thanks, Logan. And if anybody has any questions on direct primary care and some of these strategies, feel free to reach out to us at Freedom Healthworks or myself, and more than happy to link you up with Logan or others that can help you answer those questions.